On this week's ADCs of Wrestling, we give you our preview and predictions for WWE Backlash. Plus, we talk about Raw and SmackDown that emanated from the Bell Center in front of a red-hot Montreal crowd and a phenomenal special guest.
Hey, this is AJ Styles, and I'm just here so I don't get pinch shotted. Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go! Oh, hell yeah!
Are you ready for a show with questionable wrestling impressions by a guy I know?
It's gotta, yeah!
ADC!
Ooh, yeah, dig it!
ADC!
Let me tell you something, ADC!
He watches wrestling!
This is awesome, Michael!
Do you know your ADCs, the ADCs of Wrestling? Welcome to the ADCs of Wrestling. I'm your host, Andrew David Cox. We apologize for being a day late. I was a little under the weather, but hey, it's better to be under the weather than under the ring. Get it? See what I did there? I'm hilarious. Yay.
Oh, boy.
This week's a little different for you guys. We're hanging out here in my basement, or at least I am, and Maddie is in his basement because we're doing a Skype show.
Yeah, you know, time was a little, you being sick yesterday. By the way, I don't care that you were sick.
Shut up.
Yeah. Anyways.
Goes around, comes around, I guess.
Yeah, timing didn't work out that we could get together, so we're trying this over Skype, so if it sounds terrible, sorry.
If it sounds terrible, we got 2 words for you. You know the words, right?
What are they?
I don't know. Yeah, so we just figured we'd try to do this anyway. I'm a little sick, still a little sick. You can probably hear it in my voice. I know I promised The Undertaker would be here. He's not going to be here this week, guys, in all honesty. I just can't do his voice. But we do have another special surprise for you from someone with a little easier of a voice to conjure up, so that'll be fun. Let's run down the show.
It's just you, isn't it? It's just you.
Me. It's me.
Yeah.
And also, Basement Steve is just like sitting behind me, breathing down my neck. He's just really freaking me out.
That's weird.
Yeah, he's like,
I don't have to yell anymore, boy. I'm just here, sitting behind you, waiting to jump in, do a run-in whenever the hell I want.
it's kind of creeping me out.
Anyways.
Anyway, let's run down the show. We're going to do a little bit of, greatest Royal Rumble reaction for you. We're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown from Montreal, and then we're going to go through our Backlash preview and predictions for you guys. Before you get too deep into the show, make sure you check out my new parodies. I dropped the Titus World Slide Goo Goo Dolls parody the other day, and that has gone over pretty well on the internet, on the interwebs. Pretty funny stuff. Also, last week, I accidentally forgot to add the AJ Styles parody to the show when I first uploaded it. And I noticed like a half an hour later when I was listening back, because I do that for quality control purposes. And thank God I do, because I wouldn't have noticed that the song wasn't there. And I rushed back down, put it back into the show, and you had to delete and re-download to get it. But because of that, maybe I'll throw it on the end of this week's episode again for those who might have missed it.
Well, and you did upload it to YouTube too, right?
It's on YouTube, so go to Andrew David Cox on YouTube and check out my Titus World Slide video and the AJ video, and tell your friends that you enjoy my ish, and tell people what we do here at ADC Dub. Speaking of, shout out to Mega Ran for playing my Titus song on the Matt Mania podcast and spreading the word about our stuff here. Yeah, so
That's
if
awesome.
Mega Ran wants to do a collab someday, I tweeted him last night saying that I've heard that The Undertaker and Rusev got bars, so, maybe they want to spit on some nerdcore someday, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
What?
Well,
It'd be great.
Yeah, sure.
You could rap over chip tunes and all this stuff. Anyway. This week's show brought to you by Week Old References about Titus sliding onto the ring. Let's do a quick reaction to the greatest Royal Rumble. Obviously, Titus is the biggest takeaway from the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Poor guy.
It's one of the best things that happened the entire show. Thankfully, it wasn't terrible, because if he was even like a foot further ahead when he fell, he could have essentially killed himself.
He was like 6 inches from a support beam onto the ring. He would have been. Yeah. Well, Titus World died.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
But,
poor Titus.
I mean, thankfully he didn't get hurt, so it was actually one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. Definitely beats his keg slide that he did a few years ago in NXT, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. There was was it really worth it? I mean, the atmosphere was okay. It was kind of weird with the Saudi royalty that had bought out the floor seating, and
floor, yeah.
I mean, it was so. When I first started watching it, I was like, "Why is there such a small seating area on the floor?" And I was texting you about it, and you're better at me, than I am at keeping up on what's going on the Twitter machine and all that stuff. So you were kind of like, oh, I read about it. It's the Saudi royalty. They bought it. They can't be there if you're not friends and family. So that was kind of weird. All the real hardcore fans were like 100 feet away. And apparently they were super loud because every time they cut to the fans, the kids were there having the time of their lives. Like, you got to remember, as weird as it was, for the kids that actually got to go, I mean, this was one hell of a thing because they've never been to anything like this before. So they were having an awesome time. But, like, you just knew they'd do something to make it kind of weird, right? Like, something was off.
Even when I first started watching the kickoff show and like the floor was just completely empty, I thought maybe it was for standing room because they put all those fancy chairs for the royalties. So I thought maybe they were doing standing room, blah, blah, blah. But then for the show, it was just empty the entire time. It was a little weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
I don't know. And now there's rumors that they're going back already before the end of the year. I don't know. You know what? I'm sure it paid off monetarily for them. The way they
paid the
expected
bills. It paid off big time. But it
was a glorified house show. That's all
it was a house show. I don't think it was worth it, man. I mean, there's all this controversy. You got them releasing statements about why Sami Zayn wasn't there, like they left him off the card for respect for their traditions. Sami Zayn's Syrian. It doesn't really equate that much. Finn Balor had to issue statements about not wearing his rainbow gear, but they probably told him, hey, don't wear your rainbow gear, even though he's saying, I hadn't been wearing it for a week or so. Whatever. We know why he didn't wear it. Daivari had to issue a statement. I mean, it got a good reaction, that segment with Daivari and his brother Sean, but like, can you have an Iranian go out there against these Saudis and get body slammed and thrown out of the ring like it was, a Russian in the 80s in America? It's just different. There's higher tensions in that part of the world. He was getting death threats after that.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that he actually had to come out and explain, like, I'm playing a character and I'm sorry that
this was just fun. This was just to get the people popping. But man,
you
can't do that kind of stuff in 2018. You really can't.
No, and now it also sounds like at least with Sammy, like, they're not actually coming out and saying it's because he's Syrian and that sort of thing. He's got that background.
No, I think they did, because they said it wasn't his. It was not his choice. They left him off the card to respect their traditions and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then they came out actually. I don't know if it was Sammy or something, but I read something yesterday where they actually said that they had been planning on playing this injury angle up. He actually found out a week before. And they didn't mention anything to him about his background or any of the limitations. They just told him they were playing up an injury angle. And they actually, according to that rumor, that they haven't even gone to him and officially even said, it was because of, your status.
Right. Yeah.
They're just fully playing on the injury angle, which I don't know. If you're going to, with all the other controversy, just come out and friggin' say it.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing, like you said, it almost didn't seem worth it. And to hear that they're going back is stupid. And actually, I just read the news too. Even just like the royal prince there, the new guy. He's actually, it just came out today that they're dumping another like 50 million or 500 million or something, just in terms of getting like more concerts and shows and that sort of thing. So, like, the country itself, they are trying to change. It's just,
I get it, but like, I mean, when you have controversy like the Sports Authority coming out and sending out notifications about how they apologize for indecent women being shown in the Greatest Worlds Collide promo that they had with Carmella, and I think it was Sasha Banks that was in it, or Alexa Bliss. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't feel like you should be supporting this kind of stuff and going there until they're ready to have the women there, and it's not going to be controversial. Just, I don't know. Just stay away.
I will say,
don't take the payday.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say, if they go back and the women aren't on it, full boycott.
Oh, yeah.
Full boycott from as many WWE fans as possible, because you can't just immediately go back and not have anything change.
The actual Rumble itself, Braun wins. Everyone got these hands. I can't help feel like that was a shout out when he tweeted that everyone got these hands. As we all know, everyone gets these hands. I think it was. My favorite meme from that whole thing was Braun holding up that title, and in the plate on the title was Titus sliding onto the ring.
I didn't even see
superimposed,
that. That's
superimposed on the championship belt. That was funny.
I didn't see that. I like Braun winning. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of going with all the rumors that he's about to get a pretty major push past Roman Reigns. So it's good for Braun. I mean, he deserves it, man. He's more over in the company than I think anyone at this point. So
it's good for Braun. And then Daniel Bryan got the Iron Man spot, which is cool. Yeah. He deserves something like that. It's the best thing to do.
Win, I'm not going to lie.
It's the best thing you can do if the guy's not going to win. Just have him in there the entire time, and then get the heat from Big Cass eliminating him, which did boil over. That worked on SmackDown. Did you see his fucking chest though? Holy shit.
Man, Roderick Strong did a number on him, even underneath his like arm and stuff. Like it wasn't just his chest.
How did he get the underside of his arm?
I
was
have
chopping
no idea.
people's arms.
It was brutal. I remember I was sitting there watching it live, and when he eventually came back in the ring, because obviously they checked him, and when he came back in the ring, I was just like, I went wide-eyed, and I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, oh my,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I even saw the actual chops, but man, that looked bad. Looked bad.
Extremely painful.
Yeah,
Do you think that was legit that they didn't want him to compete? No, it wasn't, because he was in a dark match later in the night.
Yeah.
On SmackDown. I was like, what do you mean they're worried about infection? And then he was in a dark match against Shinsuke, and he got a Pinshasa.
No, I think that was just to get over the actual skit that Big Cass went through with him. So
if you're gonna try to get that over, though, why have him in a dark match? You know, Twitter exists. You know, people are just gonna be like, hey, Daniel Bryan came out tonight. What was that all about, Jesse James?
It could also be a thing like, no, everyone just relax. He's not actually hurt. I think that's what it was. So I don't know. I just, the way the Big Cass segment played out, I thought it was actually funny. So
it was. We'll talk about it. it. The casket match. What'd you think? Did Rusev get buried? He got his offense in there. He got some kicks in there. He got some kicks.
He got some offense. It was good. I don't know. It was the Cena match was better.
Really?
Really?
The Cena match.
This was good. I don't know. It seemed like I'm kind of over Undertaker's 30-minute intro. So I think right away, by the time he actually got in the ring, I was like, okay, like, let's just do this.
Wow.
I'm glad it
take,
wasn't.
Matty. That's the one thing people still want to see.
No, it's too long. I love his intro, but
of course, it looked great. The whole arena looked amazing. I mean, absolutely. The big set, the scaffolding, the fireworks going off. It was pretty insane. It was
awesome. But it shouldn't take him 10 minutes to get to the ring.
As a bald man, I feel that I could say this. Is Undertaker's hair getting a little too long? Because it's just starting to accentuate the skullet, really, that it's so incredibly long. It was, at the end, it was so, like, puffed out, and it was like a huge lion's mane around his head, and I was just like, boy, Rusev just got shut in a casket by this guy. And Aiden English, too. You know what? Despite everything I said, it felt a little bit like a burial. It really did. It felt a little sad for Rusev and Aiden English to be piled into that casket together, have the lid shut on them, and have to sell it like they were scared of this guy. It's getting a little... getting a little old.
It could be just to, like, I mean, when you look at it and then see what happened on SmackDown as well with that special guest who showed up, it made more sense there. I didn't see it as much of a burial because we all knew the outcome. So I think maybe there's
only one way it could have gone, obviously.
Yeah.
But
so I don't know. It was fine, I guess. I thought it was a little slow. Found it a little boring.
I mean, the first time he ever did this was against Kamala. Let's wrap our heads around that. This guy had a casket match against Kamala.
Yeah.
And now he's wrestling Rusev in 2018 inside. I mean, it's pretty nuts. It was a little soon after WrestleMania for him to come out. It just didn't feel that special. And then,
yeah.
But how is he still dropping that leg, man? Jesus.
I don't know. Every time he does it, especially like on the apron, it looks so painful that I don't want to do it. And the guy just had surgery and everything. So
let's fuck my back up.
Yeah, like get right into it again. It's fixed. It's broken. Shit.
Maybe I could have done an Undertaker call this week. Well, we'll see.
Maybe he'll just show up whenever I want him to.
That's not bad.
I said a little. I've got a cold. There's a cold going around. ADC got it. I have it too. I need to rest and take some Neocitrin. Yeah.
It's not bad. You've done better.
I think that's what people are going to say about this entire episode, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Should we get into Raw and SmackDown from beautiful Montreal?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Let's burn through this as quick as we can because we are late getting this to the masses. That's for damn sure. I think the first thing that really stuck out to me is, the Montreal crowd is the best.
Unreal.
Like as a guy from Toronto, we take it, as a point of pride that we're great wrestling fans, but I don't want to be too controversial here, but I might have to give the edge to Montreal when it comes to wrestling fandom. Those guys were on fire for both shows.
I don't even think it's close. Like we went to Raw or SmackDown. I went to Raw and Survivor Series and stuff, and the crowd was good, but my God, it wasn't Montreal good. Like, that was insane. And I've been there for Montreal Canadian games as well.
Yeah.
And even just the atmosphere
I've been
for
with you.
hockey games. Yeah, exactly. It's insane. So I wasn't overly surprised the crowd was that awesome, but man, does it ever change the feel of like an episode? Because it was like, I was getting goosebumps during certain moments when the crowd was going nuts. It was awesome.
Namely Seth Rollins. If there's anything I needed this week, after like a 5-hour Rumble show that felt kind of off-brand, and after the come down of WrestleMania, everything's down. Even our show numbers are down. Like, people are checking out from wrestling. Yeah. What I needed was an arena show with a crowd that was this crazy, that were feeding into a babyface and really getting behind the actual story. And WWE, on their part, putting together 2 pretty strong wrestling shows where I don't really have a lot of criticisms. I have more commendations coming out of this week because I thought that they did a pretty good job of just keeping us interested. Like, Seth Rollins, my only criticism would be, in a perfect world, he would be in the world title picture right now, because this guy is as pure a babyface as you can get. He's got the IC title. Obviously, it's the workers' title, so they're doing what they can to make that belt big, especially after Miz losing it. But his promo was gold. The fan reaction that he was getting on Monday was something only Daniel Bryan is getting right now. He's the only guy I can really think is close, because people respect the hell out of these guys.
Well, and then even after Raw was over, like, he went back out and cut another promo, just basically saying, like, you know, after it's so grueling to travel the way they did the last month,
this
to get
is
into
home.
Yeah, it just, for him to actually go out there and acknowledge the fans, and even for Vince to say, like, no, like, we need to get out there and thank these fans again, because after a month like that, for them to remember why they're in the WWE and why they love it and why they continue to just beat the hell out of each other, it was pretty special. It felt
real. It felt real. You know, it's like, we're away from home, our families, our dogs, like, just everything that you know you love and that people take for granted being around every day. And I love that, like, as a real babyface who can just grab the mic and just start talking with people and connect with people. That's really special. So I think I'm really glad he's still on Monday nights. I think he's really kind of the flag bearer of that show right now. He's like the support beam that they can hang everything else on right now. And he's doing great work, man. Did you feel like they were teasing a Balor heel turn a little bit?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. Just the way he turned on him at the end there, you mean?
And then that smile after, I got that vibe. I was like, he could turn heel and we would buy it. Kind of like Shinsuke right now. Don't have to, keep dick punching people, but he could he could smile and beat people down and just kind of give that cheeky little grin at the camera every week. I would be down.
I was going to say, like, with that smile, the cheeky little smile, it could definitely work on the heel side of things. He can't, obviously, like, one of him or Seth, if they're going to have a story together here, one of them's got to turn. It can't be face the whole time, because that'll be boring pretty quick.
Maybe they sort of put a bow on it with that match against Seth, maybe Balor. But then it's like back to the drawing board for Balor. I mean, the match itself was outstanding. That reversal from the superplex into the Falcon Arrow by Balor, that was really cool.
So
they keep finding little ways to tweak it every time.
Yeah, a couple good false finishes as well without the finisher actually being performed. I love the way Balor kept, like, stepping away from the curb stomp or the stomp or whatever the hell they're calling it. I love the way they did that a couple times, because you were just like, here now. And then even with the coup de grace. So it was the last, month and a half, they've had a few single matches, and they've been spectacular on just basically Raw. So it was really good. It was very good.
Maybe they kind of blew it off on Raw. The fact that they've wrestled so many times lately is the only reason I think that they might have to get away from it, and they may have just sort of given the feud to Seth and been like, you're the champ, you sort of won that one. Maybe they'll meet again down the road, maybe for a bigger title. Who knows?
Yep, very possible.
Let's speak about that bigger title. Roman Reigns and the Raw main event scene. How do you feel about the referee admitting to making this wrong call? I kind of liked it. It felt real sports to me. Like, our officials made the wrong call. Kurt Angle being like, we stand behind their decisions. He's like, I know it was the wrong call, but I stand behind his decision to make a quick judgment call in that situation. What I don't like about it is, let's talk about actually calling a match because of the fearing of the safety of the competitors. Shane McMahon has fallen from a cell through tables twice within the last 2 years. Yeah. And they're just like, keep going. Pin the guy. Get him back in the ring. Let's go, Shane. Get up, you pussy. And then, I can see your pooch.
Yeah,
I see
dogs
your dog.
just came downstairs. Yep. They're
Yeah,
probably
now
gonna make
it's
a bunch of
your
noise.
pet that's going to do a
Yeah.
run-in on the show and try to blow all our spots. That's interesting. The tides have turned, except your dog loves you and is nice to you.
Very true. Yeah, I don't know. The main event picture right now with Brock and Roman, I said it last week. I'm over it. I'm done with this. And the fact that it's going to just keep going on and on. I also like we need to get the title off Brock. Enough is enough. I know they want to get the CM Punk off the record book there and everything, but this has just gone on way too long. It's so friggin' boring.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, like they've buried Roman Reigns, even though they're keeping him in the main event picture because nobody gives a shit anymore about this.
Yeah, we got an interesting tweet that we're going to talk about later on. Just 2 tweets on what we would maybe do to save this guy, and I don't know at this point. It's tough.
I have an idea in my head.
I have one too. Montreal fans did not want this guy to open his trap, and I do have to admit I was pretty damn entertained by their booing. It reminded me of WrestleMania last year, and you think like going back an entire calendar year, this has been happening, and before that, it was working up to it too. It's just like, how long can we keep doing the same thing with one guy and just having him out there and get booed? It's good heat. It's entertaining to me. I don't know, but I just don't think that they're ever going to get him into that babyface role that they want him in, or that Vince seems to want him in, because fans are not going to budge. They didn't boo him though in Jeddah. I said that they wouldn't, and I really don't think they did. Maybe a couple fans were hip to it, and they might have booed a bit, but it was more or less just kind of like a happy fan reaction.
Yeah, it was kind of a nothing reaction. There was nothing, like it wasn't.
They're probably
more
really
like
tired.
A polite clap sort of thing. Yeah. It could have been that too, because it came at the end of the night, or I guess right before the Rumble. But I don't know. I just think they've pushed him for so long now. I just think the fans are over it. I think even the booing now isn't just because he's over and it's the thing to do. I think, at least in Montreal, people were booing because it's a legitimate, like, enough.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. So at least that's the sense I'm getting.
You know who was really over? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, obviously.
Oh, man.
These guys were on fire. These huge hometown heroes. I died.
Shocked, but my God.
I died when Sammy came out and the promo he was cutting, and like Kevin Owens, they're chanting weed. He's like, that means yes, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. There were some chants the fans were doing that I couldn't really tell what it was. It sounded like most of it was in English, but it was hard to tell.
There were a couple where it was like the rudest possible way to say we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Was for either Big Cass or Roman. I forget what it was, but if somebody wants to tweet me, maybe Ramador knows what it was, because he was there. Oh, by the way, shout out to our boy Ramador for bringing an ADCs of Wrestling sign and getting it on TV. So
yeah, that was pretty cool. SmackDown Live, ADCs of Wrestling featured.
Yeah, I'm sure the floodgates will open, and now we're going to get 16 million more downloads. That'd be a lot of downloads. 16 million is a goal for sure.
Yeah, either way, still really cool that
that was nice.
That at least there was a bit of a sign there. We were represented. It was very cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. The popularity poll, I found this really hilarious, and mostly it was because of Jinder Mahal's reaction. It's like, do you guys want to see Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns? And everybody's booing. He's like, yo, shut it. It doesn't matter what you people think, okay? Shut up. He looked so butthurt. It was the best.
It was very
so upset.
Good.
I died inside. I'm feeling a little better, Maddie. I feel like just laughing with you and talking about wrestling has picked my spirits up a little bit. It's cleared my chest out a little bit. I feel a little more alive, you know. I'm not going to have to go douse my sorrows with cough syrup, with purple stuff in my cup. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't want none of that.
Sugar, water, and purple. I will say that segment, as great as the fans and everything were, it felt weird because they're the heels.
Yeah.
But the faces were being booed and the beat down on the guys who were the hometown. The whole thing felt strange.
It's a little off-brand, right? It was like a weird dream.
Yeah, it was weird.
They booked themselves into a corner a little bit. What was interesting to me is that Bobby Lashley is the guy coming out for the save.
Yeah.
And he's been paired with Braun Strowman for a couple weeks in a row. And if you know the way they like to kind of book things, that leads me to believe that in Vince McMahon's mind, Bobby Lashley is like the third highest babyface on Raw, like in the title picture.
Yes.
You know, you've got the IC scene. Obviously, Seth's up there. So maybe Seth's kind of like a 1B in a way and carrying the other title picture. But like right under Braun, you've got Bobby Lashley. Obviously, they're trying to give him the rub by putting him out there with Lashley and with Reigns, because Reigns is really over, pal. Everyone loves Roman Reigns.
I guess so. It's weird because I still feel. Yeah, see, there you go. I don't know. Lashley to me, like there's just something in me where I just don't care yet. I'm not connected to him.
Well, he has yet to say, a word and tell us why he's back or what his mission statement is. He's just here to be a big, strong guy with a headband that can suplex guys for 20 minutes.
True. Well, except he almost killed. What was it, Big Cass?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Killed Cass at Greatest Royal Rumble. That scared the crap. Tried twice, it's not happening, man. Just do a suplex.
He brought back the Brainbuster, Maddie. The Brainbuster's back.
That was a scary Brainbuster. But no, I don't know. I'm just not connected to him, and I get that he hasn't said anything. He's been good in the ring. Maybe it's because they're pairing him with Braun, and Braun just overshadows him so much. I don't know, but.
That's kind of the point I made last week. I feel like having him out there as that big powerhouse with Braun Strowman, it's like, well, Strowman's here. He's almost doing what you do a little better, a little more haphazardly, a little more caution to the wind, and he's got all the charisma. Like, he took everyone's charisma and just swallowed it all. It's just shitting it all over people. Charisma shits.
Yeah.
Where that came from. but
yeah, anyways.
Lashley, I don't know. Lashley is a guy who got a lot of flack last time he was here for not having charisma and for just being pushed for his athletic skill. And I think he largely disproved some of those, naysayers when he was at TNA. So
yeah,
hopefully they hopefully find a way for him to kind of tap into that again. But right now, just putting him out there against your top heels and expecting him to get over isn't really going to do it.
It's not going to work.
Hey, speaking of being big, demolishing heels and huge baby faces, the Authors of Pain penned a French tragedy on Monday night by destroying Jean-Paul and Francois in one of my favorite segments in a long time. Because the Jobbers got an entrance, Maddie. The AOP came out first.
They did, actually. They did.
And the Jobbers got an entrance. They got music. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, Jean-Paul and Francois.
Yeah, I like that, it was a squash match, but
squash match.
A squash match. A squash. Wow. A squash.
Say that 5 times fast, Maddie. Say it 5 times fast, Maddie. Sash squash match. Match squash sash. Sashy squashes. Squash your banks.
You're wrong.
The bank squash match.
Anyways, I like that it was different in terms of a squash match, and wow, I did it again. I like the segment, but it's the one thing I did right was I just don't care about the Authors of Pain. They took these guys from being absolute monsters and being an important call-up, in my personal opinion, to I don't care. I don't know what it is. They took the vests off. They took the masks off. They don't have Ellering with them. They're just big guys now. That's all they are.
I didn't hate it. I did lose some interest once the Jobbers were in the ring because the squash match itself, the squash, was just okay. The promo after was fine. These guys are, one of them's Canadian, actually. It was just all right. We'll have to wait and see. Who else had a good showing on Raw? Ruby Riott, Sasha Banks. Ruby actually looked pretty good in the ring. That was probably her best showing so far. That Cannonball Senton got a great reaction.
Yeah, people very cool. They had a good match. I think I'm interested to see what they're doing with Sasha Banks. Like, I don't know where Balor.
What are they doing with Sasha Banks, though? That's the question. Like, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back for Sasha and Bayley every week. They're just you get the feeling that they just don't know what to do. They're like, I don't know. Do the same thing we did last week. Put them out again.
We waited so long at this point. Like, well, I don't know where to go from here. But
they're like, how could it possibly pay off after 6 years?
Well, and there's also all these rumors about Sasha Banks behind the scenes as well. So it's like, is she getting a bit of a...
What are these rumors, Maddie?
Well, just that she's not a very nice person. They don't like the way she treats fans and that sort of thing.
Right.
But then there's also a lot of stuff where she's kind of defending herself, saying, well, like, I'm great with the fans unless you corner me in the airport after I just got off a 6-hour flight and you're trying to ask for pictures. And I totally get that from her side. So it just seems...
I get that
like
too, but you know who doesn't have that problem? Most of the rest of the roster.
It's very true.
They just deal with it.
Yeah, it's true.
Those people are your gravy train, man.
It's very true.
Meal ticket.
So it almost seems like I really don't know what they're doing with Sasha at this point because she's nowhere near the title scene.
No.
Where's Bayley? Bayley wasn't even on Raw, so.
Yeah, the women's scene on Raw was, I don't know, it was something else this week. It was just kind of there. Nia versus Alexa Bliss is almost like a formality this week. Whatever. They're going to have the rematch. We'll talk about it in our predictions. Ronda Rousey came out, helped Natalya score a quick win. That was kind of cool, I guess.
Chased Alexa 2 times around the ring.
Yeah, she sprinted around the ring like Braun Strowman. I was ready for her to just blow somebody up. By the way, KO got destroyed again by Braun.
Yeah, I love what they're doing. I hope there's a payoff match there.
Run around the ring and check you, and run around the ring and I'll check you again.
Yeah.
Everyone gets hip checked.
Body check, shoulder block.
Yeah, I don't know. The women on SmackDown are definitely doing a better job than on Raw, but I think it'll turn. Like I think they just got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's more about settling into the storylines and then telling us
the talent's there. About. Like on both shows,
both rosters have good women's rosters. Like this, the SmackDown one, you think, oh, this is such a big packed roster. You've got Becky and Charlotte and Asuka. You got the Iconics there now. The formerly Absolution are now there. They've broken up, obviously, thanks to Paige. So I guess we cleared that up. But then you think on Raw, it's like, okay, but Nia Jax is like a force to be reckoned with, a monster who's in the making of becoming a really big star. And Ronda Rousey's there, who's actually the biggest mainstream star on the roster right now. So, they both have their talking points. Sasha's somebody who's still kind of, I don't know, maybe they could have her defend a title once and that it would change things for her. But
Alexa
Bliss is great. Yeah. Let's talk about Bobby Roode's throat being crushed by Elias. This was okay, but what needs to happen here is Bobby Roode needs to injure Elias's throat so that he can't sing.
Yeah.
We almost saw that with Aiden English.
It's the easiest storyline that they could go with, and it would make sense, and it would be great. Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
that was good.
That's his thing. We almost saw it with Aiden English. When he came out after being Kinshasa by Shinsuke, he was like, no, I can't. We need to see this happen to Elias. I need to see him out there struggling to sing, excuse me, and angry and just like bruised in the ego because he can't perform for all of us. And he loves the sound of his own voice. Elias likes to hear himself sing. He can't stand any one of you. But that would be fun.
Yeah. I don't know. It was fun. I don't have much to say about it, to be honest, because I'm just, again, I just don't like what they're doing with Bobby Roode.
That's fine.
He's not over.
No, he's not over yet. I don't know if he's going to get over against Elias either, because people like Elias.
He's the heel, but everyone loves
WWE
him.
stands for Walk with Elias, Matty. I don't know if you know. I would buy a Miz Taraj t-shirt.
the one that they came out with, the 4 faces that were just taped on.
That's all I have to say about that segment. Make that happen, WWE Shop.
I liked it.
Let's move over to SmackDown.
Okay.
Obviously, one of the biggest things on SmackDown was that AJ Styles' junk was under assault once again.
Yeah.
Poor guy. At this point, is he just being stubborn by not wearing a jockstrap? Like, what's the deal here, AJ? It's an athletic support.
See, the way Nakamura is laying the low blow in, I feel like even with the jock, it won't have the effect because it's not a dead-on nut shot. It's coming from underneath. It's getting everything from like taint to like scrot. So
from taint to top.
I just really wanted to say taint on a podcast.
From top to taint.
Yeah. No, it's I love this whole feud now. Like
from tip to taint.
From tip to taint. There you go.
Hashtag tip to taint. That's a t-shirt right there. Let's make a t-shirt.
The build up to Mania was so. It was kind of boring, and now everything after is just fantastic. Like Nakamura has legit crazy in his eyes.
Oh yeah,
with this character, it's so good.
I love his song too.
Yeah,
the new song is really growing on me. Like I obviously don't understand the actual lyrics. I only know the meme lyrics. Yeah. But the guy who's singing has a lot of character, and like he says some stuff in like funny ways too. Like you can tell he's being kind of sarcastic or something in the way he delivers some of the lines, and it works perfectly. I wanted to ask you this: is it becoming a little bit comical at this point, the Pinchasas, or is it just because I'm making it the Pinchasa, and in my head it's funny?
I don't think so. I think it's kind of better than if it was a chair shot or anything like that, because it shows you how much of a scumbag that he actually is. So I actually kind of like it. I loved this week the way it happened because you knew Nakamura was going to come out at some point, and the camera work for this nut shot was perfect because you actually don't see the Kinshasa this time. It's just the camera comes back and his arm is already there. Like, I love that.
That's what I mean.
It was
just,
so,
and he just stays there for so long. He's like, I have a hold of what I want.
but it's
balls.
good because it shows like his crazy. I feel like it's perfect for the character rather than if he were like super aggressive with a chair or throwing him into the stairs.
I found some humor in it this week, honestly, with Nakamura just holding on to AJ's junk. And then afterwards, AJ just kind of holding it and like stumbling around like, oh, my pain. Ow.
Yeah.
I
like how he faked the Kinshasa from the backside.
Nice. The fake out.
I thought that, yeah, and then he came back and did it. I thought it was great.
You know, AJ can't get a break. Do you remember when Dean Ambrose crotched AJ Styles on the top rope like a year and a half ago? And AJ just sat there for like an hour and a half, just like, I can't get up.
This is why I came to WWE. I got a title, but they keep punching me in the dick.
Oh, man.
I will say that like this, I think they made the right call here with Shin going heel instead of AJ. I think we were pretty comfortable with AJ going heel and maybe with the brothers coming over, but this is just a way better heel turn than if it had been AJ.
I'm interested to see where they go after this. If AJ does lose the title to Shinsuke, I guess it's on to Samoa Joe, who's just fantastic right now because his whole thing is just, I'm going to further demolish whoever gets beaten at the next event. That's his whole gimmick. Yeah. If you lose at the next event, I'll beat you again.
I don't know. I find like Joe is so good and it sounds like they want to push him. I still don't really understand why they're using him to, I don't know, put other guys over the way he is. And even just like talking about Roman so much, I know he's got a match with him and so on, but like Joe has to win that match with Roman, right? I mean, I guess we'll talk about that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he has to because Roman's lost so many times that like we've seen Samoa Joe do it before. He was the guy who went out and was a believable threat to Brock Lesnar, but would eventually lose. And he's the guy who might do the same thing against AJ Styles if AJ Styles, you know, were to come and I don't know. Hey, I thought maybe with all this talk of AJ Styles junk, it might be good if AJ stopped by. So I gave him a call. He was a little trepidatious because I was sick, but he's actually here. You probably can't see him on the Skype feed. I'm going to just turn the camera around. He's real shy.
Your laundry hanging in the background is...
Yeah. He's real shy, but I think... Are you here, AJ? Yeah, I'm here. Let's do this. I want to talk about my junk. Let's go. Okay, he wants to talk about his junk, so... All right. Let's bring him in. AJ Styles.
Oh, there he is. I see
Hey.
him.
Oh, hey, guys, I love your show. Hey, you got a nice like cushion or something, ADC, and maybe a pillow from a coccyx? Yeah, actually, I think I might have that right here. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Oh, I got to rest my blue brand. Hey, this is the house that ADC built, right? You should say that on your show sometime. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind, man. Thanks. You sound a little different there, AJ. Yeah, it's a cold. Must be on the same, thing that you got there. It's keeping me down. Too sweet me. Let's do this. Okay, thanks, brother. You're a good brother. What brings you to the show today? Okay, here's the deal, guys. I'm here on the ADCs of Wrestling to make a peace offering to Shinsuke Nakamura. A peace offering. This is huge.
Interesting.
That's right. Here goes. Shinsuke, I know for some reason you're completely obsessed with the package that Mama Styles made. Okay, that's an unnecessary nickname.
Yikes.
I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I'm completely on edge. That sounds terrible. So here's my offer. Go ahead. I'm offering to have one testy surgically removed to present to Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm sorry. That's a terrible idea. Now, hold on. I'm waving the white flag here, guys. I will go under the knife. They will take one ball. Don't worry, Shinsuke. It will be a phenomenal one. That's terrible. I mean, I could live with one ball if Lance Armstrong did it, right? I mean, I guess so. I just can't take any more pain shots, okay? I don't want none. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Thanks, AJ. All right, I'll see you guys later. I was phenomenal. You sure were, AJ. Wow.
I picked a bad week to not be there in person to meet AJ.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like bringing up Lance Armstrong is a bit of a...
Yeah, Lance is doing okay with one ball. You know?
Yeah, but he cheated his entire life to the success that he got, so...
Yeah, with one ball, though.
So that makes him less of a cheat. Anyway,
No, it just means he just knows that he could survive on one, somebody else. That's fine. A big revelation this week on the ADCs of Wrestling. Only here to get AJ Styles offering Shinsuke Nakamura one of his balls.
I feel like that's a bit of an overstep. Like, I don't think he needs to remove one of his testes.
Matt, he's at his wit's end, man. He keeps getting just crushed from tip to taint.
But there's got to be a better way, AJ. There's got to be a better way. Don't cut one out.
I mean,
not unless you have to.
You could put it in a little jar. You could give it. I mean, Gallows and Anderson gave him the idea. Obviously, they used to collect balls. So
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that storyline. That was terrible.
So did I until right now, and I realized how perfect that skit actually was.
Wow. Anyways, well,
let's talk about the big Cass hole. How about that? What a big jerk. We seriously doing this in 2018?
Yeah.
Or is that actually what makes it a good segment?
I loved it. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was weird that, I mean, I kind of wish maybe they didn't announce that Daniel Bryan wasn't going to be there, because then when his music hit, you knew that it wasn't him. But I still loved it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a terrible person, but I thought it was great.
You just knew that poor guy was going to get the big boot. It was just
absolutely.
a matter of time.
Is it a big boot? Well, I mean, I guess it's still a big boot. It just like comes up like.
That's not nice. That's not nice. You're calling it a little boot, Maddie?
No.
Yeah, I mean, he had the little beard and the everything. Yeah. It was oh boy.
It just everything he said too. It like he was just you're looking a little taller. You look a little pissed off. Why are you being short-sighted? You got to look at the bigger picture. Like all these little things that he did through his promo. I thought
I could have done without the puns. I don't know.
When
it comes to puns, I don't want none.
It was good heat though, right? Like, I mean, they're trying to get heat on this guy. So what better way to do it than do it in a funnier way? I don't know. It's just
no. It worked. I think.
It was a good segment, in my opinion.
What I think works about this whole scenario is the way that Daniel Bryan would probably love to move on and take on a guy like The Miz. But you've got this guy, Big Cass, who's just showed up on the scene and just keeps stirring shit up and won't leave Daniel alone and is like bringing out little people dressed like him. He eliminated him from the Greatest Royal Rumble. He's calling him short all the time and just basically being a bully and picking on him. And Daniel's going to, he's going to be forced to deal with the situation. So I think that's compelling storytelling in its own right.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, what happens after this? Is this just a quick, short thing to get some heat on Big Cass? Like, Daniel Bryan was kind of the perfect guy. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who actually goes over.
Yeah, the problem is only one guy can really win, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, you got to think it's going to be Daniel Bryan. He's not going to lose the feud to Big Cass so that they can, rocket strap Big Cass to the main event scene, is he? That seems like a weird thing to do right away.
It does, but I also feel like they can't bury him right away after just coming back. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess we'll find out what we each think when we do our predictions real shortly here.
Let's make it really shortly where we do those predictions. Miz and the whole U.S. title scene, I'm enjoying it. Is this just are they just going to take the U.S. title and try to recreate Miz's IC campaign, or is it going to stay away from Miz for a while?
I don't think
Jeff Hardy and
I think it stays with Jeff Hardy and Orton there a little more. I don't know. I can't. Obviously, he can't win the IC title, so this is why this like crossover and still having these matches to me at weird. Backlash is just stupid. Yeah, but I don't really want Miz and Daniel Bryan to cross paths immediately. So I kind of like the Big Cass thing and the U.S. title thing, but at the same time, like, can you really just transfer Miz to the U.S. title?
Yeah,
and just
weird.
Put him in the picture.
I don't see caring about it the same way you care about the IC championship. When it's just that prestigious belt with all the gold on the white, it just looks so good on the Miz. So the U.S. title feels like a step down because it really is.
It is.
Like the IC belt is a bigger belt.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though they both really mean nothing.
And they've already got 3 guys in the U.S. title, so I mean, I guess they could put a 4th, but Miz is above that in my opinion.
Excuse me. By the way, why is Jeff Hardy out here on Miz TV trying to talk and cut promos? It's just like did not work for me.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I mean, I guess I see where they were going with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was happy when I caught that RKO from Randy Orton because that was another moment on the show where you just knew it was happening. That camera angle was way too tight on Jeff Hardy after his win for him not to catch a mean RKO.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm coming out of nowhere, Jeff, and you're going down.
It was the best part, obviously, of the whole segment, but and the match. But I don't know. It just like they did exactly what they did before the oh my god, shakeup. Wow, that was a hard word to think of.
That's all right. I forget everything.
They just like you said, they swapped out Jinder and Bobby, and they entered Jeff and Shelton. So
yeah,
I'm having a hard time caring about this title picture right now.
Shelton's an underrated hand, though. To have a guy like that to just throw into any match and give you a great match. Like, I don't think he's gonna, set the world on fire anytime soon. But he's a guy who's really under the radar, just kind of there and a good hand to have for those lower card matches and get good performance out of people.
He's mid to low for sure.
Speaking of, I think I'm ready to be pleasantly surprised by this New Day and the Bar feud.
I like it, and I like that it's away from the title. That's the one thing I thought was that. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that. I mean, it's weird we didn't see Bludgeon Brothers or Usos at all this week, but whatever. I like what they're doing, and I thought again they had a really funny segment together.
Goddamn kid, I was upset I didn't see the Bludgeon Brothers too.
Get out of here, Steve.
Sorry.
I could see you know how when someone breathes on a window and you see the fog? I could see that happening on your face. I just knew Steve was right there.
Yeah, I'm building up a wall of condensation on my cheeks.
yeah.
The nape of my neck.
It was funny. Big E rubbing oil on himself. My God.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
baby oil.
My God. It was so good.
That was really creepy.
Got actual laughs out of the crowd, though. Like audible laughs.
He's rubbing baby oil all over his titties. It was amazing.
Forgot something. Oil.
And is he ever passionate about his pancakes?
Oh, my God. We always say we like serious Big E. That was comical serious.
Oh, you done did it now, sucker!
He got so mad. Super mean and angry when they knocked threw those pancakes around. So
the pancake thing is really weird. I just don't get it. But they're keeping it alive as much as possible, I guess. But Xavier Woods, the reason I wanted to segue to this is I feel like he's really underrated because he was selling his ass off for Sheamus out there, and I don't know, he that nice flip, the tope that he had over the top rope, like. He's a valuable guy, and I feel like he gets overshadowed by Kofi because Kofi's the big spot guy, and Big E because Big E's the funny powerhouse dude. But like Xavier's is a very good hand, man. He's a good wrestler.
He's very good. He's very good. I've kind of thought you're right because they always swap out. Like Big E seems to be kind of the guy who's always in every match. Yeah. And then they swap out Kofi and Xavier. And I think
it's very rarely Xavier and Kofi together.
Exactly. And Xavier's always on the outside with the trombone
Francesca
there. So
2 Turbo.
Whatever version he's on now. But
2 Turbo, I think.
I don't know.
Next is good. Super Francesca 2.
Yeah, but I find like even Xavier, he can pull off the comedy as well, where he's sitting back there and he's like, "I'm gonna take your soul," and I don't know if it was.
Oh, it was
Kofi
Mortal
or
Kombat
Big E.
reference. It was your soul is mine. Yeah. It was the Shang Tsung.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was Kofi or Big E in the background, but you could just quietly hear, "You have no soul," redhead. So I caught it and I started laughing, and then it was just get that soul. And
he's like, "Oh, you went Mortal Kombat on him."
Yeah, it's good. I like it, and I like it that it's away from the title. I feel like we have 4 legit tag teams on SmackDown. So,
and if you want to, big up the Bar as credible challengers for the Bludgeon Brothers, you could probably do worse than a couple classics with the New Day because they've proven to be really capable of doing that with almost anybody.
Absolutely.
Want to talk about the SmackDown women a little bit? Wasn't a whole lot going on this show, but I don't want to leave them out in the cold. Just hanging.
But the Iconics were great again. I don't know why I find them funny, but even just as simple as go chase a moose to Renee, like
they got heat with me, Maddie. That is not a Canadian at all. That is a Minnesotan.
It's true. The accent wasn't.
I don't sound like that.
Neither do I. I don't know what they're talking about.
No, you do. You're a hoser.
Yeah, I am. But I think the women's division on SmackDown is pretty good and set up for some major success. Like we went through the names earlier, but like having Becky and Charlotte and Asuka and the Iconics, Carmella's not, I mean, she'll tell you different, but a great wrestler, but she's a good character. And then you add in Mandy and Sonya, and we haven't really seen Naomi outside of it. Plus you're adding Vega, and then we saw Lana come back. So the women on SmackDown, there's a lot of them, and it's a talent pool.
I just got a great idea for a feud. Imagine Rusev turning babyface, and Rusev versus El Ídolo, Andrade Cien Almas, with Zelina Vega and Lana on the outside. Because as we saw on SmackDown, Lana is number one. Lana is the best. She's back. But is there room for Aiden English?
I like that segment a lot, actually. I thought the pop that the Montreal crowd gave her, totally worth it. People have wanted her back on TV. It's good to see her in a Rusev Day shirt. And
it was very good to see her in a Rusev Day shirt.
Yeah. All right. Relax. Calm down. But
that was the best that shirt's ever looked.
I loved it when she was like, there's something holding you back. Oh, excuse me. I forgot my jacket. It was perfect
back.
sitcom. Yeah. It was so good. It was very good.
That was good.
The women on SmackDown, I'm excited to see what happens once BackLash is over and we get into some storylines within the show.
Yeah, me too. I'm really wondering where Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose fit in. Who's Mandy wrestling next week? She's got a match against
Becky
Lynch, right?
Yep.
So I could see them getting paired off in a quick little feud. Like, give Mandy a feud.
I just
get her over as a character.
Obviously, they had to sever Paige from Absolution. That makes sense. But does that mean that they're going to sever Mandy from Sonya? I figure they'll stay together.
I don't know. All I know is I'm severing one ball from my package, giving it to Shinsuke Nakamura so he doesn't give me any more Pinchasas. Sorry, I had to come back and say that.
It makes sense.
You guys have a good show for the rest of the show in the house that ADC built.
Thanks, AJ.
Interesting.
He's really passionate about it. He's really just ready to surrender one testy.
You know what I'm excited for, though, with Mandy and Sonya is, do they get new music, and what is it going to be? That's the only thing that I care about, really.
I don't know why I like that so much, but I do. New Music Day is like the best day. It's like, new music, and then you want to go to YouTube, you want to hear it. Anyway, let's do BackLash predictions real fast. Let's just run through them. You got the card up, my friend?
I do. Just real quick about the Greatest Royal Rumble. You did get 8 of the matches correct.
Oh, snap.
Yep, 8 of them. I only got 5.
It was really hard to predict that card.
Yeah, it was tough. I only went with pretty well. The only ones you got wrong was like the Rumble and something else.
Didn't you pick like Dana Brooke to win the men's Rumble or something stupid?
I did. You got Roman Titus? Wrong. You got Roman wrong. I got Brock right, and then you had Daniel. I had Khali.
Big Khali.
It was almost the exact same thing. He came in and was immediately eliminated.
Poor Dana Bryan having to take a big chop from Khali and sell it.
Yeah, and whatever. Anyways, but on to BackLash. So we got Orton versus Hardy for the U.S. title.
You go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I think Hardy retains because Shelton Benjamin will, I guess, interfere. I don't know. But I think it's too quick to take it off.
I feel like Benjamin's going to get mixed up in this too. I'm going to go with that as well. Hardy retains.
Okay. Hardy retains.
Or loses by disqualification, but retains. Either way,
Fair enough. So you're taking Hardy as well?
Yep.
Cool. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass.
It pains me to say it, but I'm going to pick Big Cass. I'm going to say Big Cass somehow wins this match.
I was going to say the same thing. I think it'd be too weird to have him come out and try to, it seems like they're giving him a push, and for them to just kind of bury him in his first match. I don't know. Although I guess it wouldn't be a burial with Daniel Bryan, but
it wouldn't be a burial, but the heat from this comes from the fans wanting Daniel Bryan to be back and on top of the hill and succeeding, and Big Cass spoiling the party. Yeah. And, he could cheat to win. He could do something. Daniel Bryan can be cheated out of a win. He's got to be that lovable underdog. And in order to do that, somebody's got to be holding him down. And that could be Big Cass for now, I think.
True. Yeah, I'm kind of along the same thought process. Lashley and Strowman versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Look, where'd this come from? This is just like these guys came out to save Roman Reigns, so they're also in a match.
Yeah,
Where's the heat here?
There's no story really.
Like, this is on the card, but there's no, I don't know, anything else.
I feel like it'll still be a good match.
Yeah, it'll be fun. For sure, it'll be fun.
They needed to build it. They were like, oh, damn, we got 10 more minutes we got to fill.
Lashley Strowman. How can they not go
Lashley Strowman? Yeah, I feel like Strowman's going to get that push, so he's going to get the win. Unless Lashley takes the pin and it starts a feud there somehow. But
yeah,
Lashley Strowman for the both of us.
I think they see money in Lashley right now, or Vince does.
Yeah, well, Vince is Vince. So let's go to the women. Charlotte versus Carmella.
I don't know what to say on this. I'm going to say
an interesting-
Carmella. Mella's
Damn
too
it.
fun lately. You can't just take the title away from her immediately.
No, she can't win clean either. So, oh man,
You've got a lot of X factors there. The Iconics. I mean, this is the
Yeah.
perfect time for them to get involved.
maybe we see a heel turn from Asuka or Becky.
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Becky
I'm
would be
picking
great.
Carmella
That'd
as
make
well.
me so
Becky
happy.
would be amazing. Yeah. I'm picking Carmella as well, just because I think it's too short, and I think her character right now is pretty funny, and she's so annoying.
I know.
But
By the way, let's not ignore the fact that
works.
Charlotte needs to turn heel. Like,
Yeah,
she
that
can't
or-
right now. That they booked themselves into a corner with this.
Yeah.
She's stuck as a babyface for a long time, but man, was she better when she was a heel.
Totally agree. We'll go over to the Raw women. So we're both taking Carmella. We'll go over to the Raw. Alexa versus Nia. I think we're both gonna pick Nia on this.
Yep, move along.
Yeah. Nothing really to talk about there.
Nope.
Seth versus Miz for the IC title.
I mean, you saw Raw,
Yeah.
right? We all watched Raw, right? Seth is going to
Yeah.
retain this title.
Yeah, and like they're not even on the same show anymore. And
No.
so
And let's talk
whatever.
about, like,
So-
one of them is a phenomenal wrestler and the other one is just a good talker. So
Hey,
you should probably have Seth go over.
hey, Miz can hold his own. You shut up.
Sorry, I forgot you're the ultimate Miz, Mark.
Maybe not ultimate, but Roman versus Joe.
This one's interesting, but honestly, Roman Reigns has to win this too. I think our predictions are going to be the same all the way
Nope.
down the board.
taking-
You're changing
Taking
it up.
Joe. Taking
Wow.
Joe. I think that Roman, and while it's part of the tweets, but I think Joe needs the push. I think he's going to get the push, and he's going to enter the title picture. And I think he starts with a win over big bad boy Roman Reigns.
Very interesting. Okay, let's do that to segue right into just 2 tweets.
Well, there's one more.
Damn it.
more. You got to
Damn
hold
it.
off, man.
I always do
AJ
that.
versus Nakamura. It's actually been this match, I think, both times. AJ versus
I
Nakamura.
keep forgetting about AJ.
He was literally just in your basement.
Oh, sorry, man. I got low blow by Mother Nature this week, and I'm all confused. Sorry, AJ. It's all right. He said it's all right.
Cool. So AJ versus Nakamura, who you taking?
Okay, here's the deal.
Okay. Ooh, this is serious.
I think Nakamura's going to win after another low blow.
Yeah. No DQ, right?
Yeah,
I see.
it's got to mean something, right?
Yeah, and we see a false finish on a low blow, but I think eventually he gets him. I'm taking Nakamura as well because I just think he'd be so friggin' perfect as the champion.
I think it's time.
Yeah.
And
He
get the
deserves
club
it.
back involved with AJ because I love that when they brought that
Yeah.
back last week, and I kind of missed it this week. And it gives AJ a reason, to get on his on microphone and say, like, Shinsuke, you needed no disqualifications to win. You had to hit me in the mailbox once again. Okay, you had to punch me in the
Tip to
dick.
taint.
You
Yeah.
crushed me from tip to taint, and now you hurt my feelings, and I want that title back. And then he could, they could trade title, whatever. I'm gonna say Shinsuke.
I'm going with Shinsuke as well. I think it's time, and I think he's going to be a friggin' perfect champion.
He's red hot right now, so it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
and everyone loves him.
Let's use that as a segue to just 2 tweets.
The following segment was paid for by the ADCs of wrestling.
Hey, yo. This is just 2 tweets.
Two tweets.
All right. 2 tweet me, bro. Let's do this for real this time.
Right on. Are you reading them out, or am I reading them out?
I'm going to read them out here. I'm going to read them
all
out
right,
here.
fine. All right, cool.
This is something we talked about and we wanted to talk about more. Kevin McBride, again, tweets us saying, since the man gets booed every time that he is mentioned, how would you change the Roman Reigns character? New music, new ring gear, new gimmick? Well, Kevin, I'd kind of do a little of all 3, I think. I think what you were alluding to, Matt, was, well, why don't you take it?
Yeah, so I think we might be a little bit different, but it all depends on what they want to do with the Shield as well, because Ambrose will come back. But I think they need to get him off TV for at least a month, maybe 3 weeks to a month. Get him off TV. Let the crowd kind of forget about him a little bit because he's too hot. And then when he comes back, immediate heel turn. They've just get off of this face thing. He's getting the boos, turn him into a heel. He is over as a heel already. He really wouldn't have to do anything crazy. But if he came out and he did something to Seth, like if he turned on Seth when Ambrose
Right.
comes back, whatever it is, that's the only way to fix Roman Reigns. That's the only way. Otherwise, people are just going to stop caring.
Mine's similar. What I say is have him lose to Samoa Joe and do what we kind of had, jokingly said about with John Cena. Have him continually fail and get so frustrated that he has to take things into his own hands and just start operating outside of the law, right? Stop, prove that you're the big dog. Prove that this is your yard and start just beating people up backstage. Start doing mean shit and just being the heel that we would love to see was the heel. I would change your music because I think that Shield theme, when it's Roman, is immediately just conjuring heat from people. You know what? If Roman turns heel, let him keep the Shield theme because
if he turns,
people like to boo it.
The theme. Yeah,
people like getting angry when they hear the banner. They're like, oh my God, this stupid idiot. When they hear that, they just want to and they want to get angry.
And even I could see new gimmick and stuff. I think that kind of thing would work. But
take off the stupid vest protector.
Yeah.
And
I like your idea as well. I think the crowd could get behind seeing him get buried a little bit, lose and lose and lose and lose. I think that could work, and then have him turn. He almost needs to be like Joe, but physical without the mic.
Well, when he was operating at his best performance, it was when he was just spearing Triple H at ringside, and he was going head to head against Vince McMahon. I'm not saying go full Stone Cold with him because he doesn't have that kind of charisma, but he needs to be kind of a loose cannon who's out of control, who is going to wreak havoc when he's out there, and that people find unpredictable. And they know when he's out there, stuff's going to get broken. It's the same thing that worked for Braun as a babyface, or made Braun a babyface because he was originally a heel that was just crazy. So, do the same thing with Roman. It's not that hard, No,
totally agree.
Okay, moving on.
Yep.
Mike Gordon.
What's up, Mike?
Says, when do you... Yeah, at Mike MRK Gordon. New listener, I believe. Says, when do you guys think the Demon King, Finn Balor, should return, and who should he feud with? This is a very good question. Because
this is good. I've been thinking about this myself. Yeah.
The when, I think, is pretty easy. I think SummerSlam is the perfect time to bring him back this year.
Yeah.
You've got 3-4 months to lead into it. Seth Rollins, it would be an interesting wrinkle to add to their feud to make it new again. If Seth and Finn were to rekindle this kind of, rivalry, if Finn turned heel and then the Demon came out, that wouldn't work because the Demon's too over.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I was like, there's no way they could do it if he turns heel.
What do you think, Maddie? When's a good time? Against whom? So I don't really have an answer for whom.
Maybe he hasn't really won anything lately. He's been out there and he's won a couple tag team matches, but on his own, he hasn't really won much. I think he wants to get back into I think it would make sense to get him back into the title picture somehow. And I could see it work for Money in the Bank, where he's like, enough's enough. I've got to do something to get myself back to where I was. And I think it could work there. Otherwise it's, maybe they keep it to the big four and it is SummerSlam, but I could see it working for something like Money in the Bank, which has major championship implications.
Okay. Here's the deal. I'm fantasy booking it right now.
Love it.
Finn Balor, like you say, gets entered in Money in the Bank. He goes over against 6 other guys or 5 other guys, whoever they want to put in the match. It's a way to make sense of him, kind of leapfrogging the IC title. Seth has got a real, chokehold on that IC title belt. He's too damn good. But Finn, he wins the belt, he wins the briefcase. Who's still champion? Brock fucking Lesnar. Everybody wants Lesnar versus Balor. But the only way you can overthrow a beast is with a demon.
With a demon. Oh, I like that.
And Demon Balor overthrows Brock Lesnar and wins the Universal title at SummerSlam in a huge moment. That demon character is over massively. Finn Balor is once again the Universal Champion.
I just got goosebumps.
We're all chubbed up and excited about it.
Dude, oh man. WWE, you need to be listening to that hot take right there. That fantasy booking, because that's money. That gets a pop from the crowd. That gets everything you want.
You know how many times Michael Cole would be like, a beast versus a demon.
Yeah, obviously.
They would make us so damn sick of that.
It'd be a good exit for Brock as well.
Sure.
It'd be a good way for him to lose to a demon, and then that's his way out. I like that.
They put the title on the demon at its very inauguration, so
I like that. I like that a lot.
Let's come full circle. Let's get it back on him, but make it a bigger deal. This time it's there to stay.
Ooh, that's good. That's
That
good.
is good. That was so damn good. I'm so good.
You don't get me excited often, but that did it.
I get you excited all the time. It's party time all the time, baby. You know you couldn't go a whole episode without me.
Damn it.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud, baby. It kind of sounds like Stew. If I just go lower, it's Stewie. It sounds just like Stewie. Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
I hate you. I hate you.
Do you want some of my sucker, Brian? King of Chill Style, we do have a third tweet this week just to keep the gimmick alive. He's a great soldier in the Great War. He says
Regular
that the
listener.
greatest Royal Rumble, Raw and SmackDown Live were all great shows, especially Raw and SmackDown Live. I agree. I don't know if I agree that the greatest Royal Rumble was a great show. I think it was well booked. But the crowd kind of took some away from it. The Montreal crowd... Awesome. Yes, that's true. The Montreal crowd was lit. Here's my question. Do you think the Universal title match was intended to be botched or not? Also, now with AJ versus Nakamura being no DQ, who wins? So I think we answered that part. But the intended botch, I don't know. I feel like Lesnar's feet were supposed to hit first, but Roman just rolled off of him when they landed outside. Because Corey Graves was trying to call it. And he was like, Brock's feet hit first. That's the end of the match. And then they're watching the replay, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck to say because this is clearly Roman just won.
Yeah, I think it was like the way it happened was on purpose. I think the getting speared out of the ring and Brock hitting first. I definitely think Roman's feet touching was not intended, but I think they did a good job in spinning it with the ref coming out on Twitter and everything. So I think they covered their ass pretty good on it. Yeah. Also, there was a thing, I don't know if it was Reddit or what, but there was a picture where if you actually zoom in, Roman's one foot is actually hung up on the ring apron. It's not actually hung. It's not on the floor. It's
right, but then he
inch.
rolls off of Brock though, and it's
no. But even when he rolls over and he's laying on his back, his one foot is slightly elevated. Like we're talking an inch. But either way, it doesn't matter. I think it was
hanging loose up there, bro.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake, but I think they covered it really well. So I'm just sick of this whole feud. In general, I just want it to be over. And I don't know if Roman loses to Joe at Backlash, he's done. Get him out of that picture. He's not challenging Brock again. And that's where I think your fantasy booking could really be amazing.
Well, I think we covered this week pretty well for, a day late and being a little bit sick. So why don't you slide on over to our iTunes page, leave us a 5-star review, tell your friends, we do this for free every week. It's just our time and we're doing it because we have fun talking to you guys about wrestling. And we would love, you to spread the word, spread some love out there on the social media. Tell people about the show if you enjoy it. Check me out on YouTube as well at Andrew David Cox on YouTube. Make sure you follow on the Twitter at ADCs of Wrestling. Tweet us, questions, comments, all that stuff. Follow Matt the Markiest at Matt the Markiest, IEST. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Andrew David Cox as well.
Awesome.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it for me.
I'm going to call it. That's it for this week. Ball game.
Peace.
Bye.
This is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, and I would love to go more than 1 week without being hit in the junk by Shinsuke Nakamura. When it comes to dick punches, I don't want none. So I had ADC help me out with this song. I know you think it's kind of funny when I feel sad, laughing hard when you punch me in the mailbag. I'm gonna have to throw a cock and balls a funeral. It's real sad cause I'll tell you they were beautiful. You're telling people that you don't speak English. Real shit's okay, I know that that's a bunch of bullshit. It's been 1 week since you punched my pain. It's red and cloudy every time I pee. Only steps, you turn heel. My junk looks like someone stepped on a banana peel. Shinsuke, please tell me why you do something like this to such a nice guy. People all just stand and watch. You're running around SmackDown Live putting fist to crotch. Pinchasa!